is the one, he has no father or son.
Truly he is the one, he has no father or son.
Everything in creation was by him begun.
Everything in creation was by him begun.
With his infinite power, anything could be done.
With his infinite power, anything could be done.
Ask Allah for his pardon,
Ask Allah for his pardon,
and you'll enter the garden.
Allahu, 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 Allahu.
It's now the turn of Dr. Rashida Okeolaniyan to present a paper, How to Make Your Marriage Work. People are waiting eagerly.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khairan. To my imams, Imam Najim, Imam Al-Radi, and Imam Jamil. And also to the chairman of the occasion. My brothers and sisters, we have all listened to the professor and imam. They've spoken about who a righteous spouse should look like. Of course, not a perfect spouse. I'm here to continue that discussion on how to make our marriage work. We all know that marriage is not a social contract in Islam, but a sacred contract. It is something that Allah has ordained on every one of us. And of course, it is beneficial, at the same time rewarding for us in this world and the year after. May Allah make it easy for every one of us. I have 3 opening questions here. And the first one is, how many people want their marriages to work? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Majority of us want that. Second question. How many people want their marriages to last long? The first one is work. The second one is last long. Okay? Okay. And the next one is, how many people want an healthy and long-lasting marriage? Healthy and long-lasting. Jazakallahu khairan. There's a difference in the 3. You can make it work, but it might not be healthy. You might count ages. It might last long, but it might not be healthy. Because it's either your foundation is weak, or along the line, you got lost. Either you don't have a map to direct you, or you misplaced your map. So think very well, and please have an open mind. The discussion I'm going to have here with every one of us. Imagine yourself saying a marriage lost in friendship and companionship. It's working. As I said earlier, you've counted 30, 50 years in marriage. But the long run, the time you are supposed to have a companion, a real companion when your kids are not there, you find out that there's no companion anymore. The man is watching the TV or reading a newspaper while the wife is out there with a neighbor gisting. That is to say, while you were in that marriage, at the early years of your marriage, you were working because of your kids and not because of yourself. So let's think deeply about it. I have divided this using an acronym, CCLPG strategy, to help us, because it's not about you alone, but it's a reminder to me also, to help us make our marriage work, healthy, and last long. And the first one I'll be talking about is communication. Effective communication. There are lots of communications. But then, are they effective? There are ways to look at it. Effective communication is when you speak, the other person understands you, and you meet at a middle. It's different from you just speaking, and at the end of the day, it leads to arguments. I would like to put in one or two Yorubas here. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni ká sọ wípé bọ̀dá mi ẹ má bínú. Ká tún wá sọ pé bọ̀dá mi orí yín ò pé ni. Yes, there is bother there. But at the same time, is it the right way? What you just said, is it right? You'll be looking at the 5 W's and H for your effective communication. The 5 W's and H. The first one is, what do you want to say? What you want to say? Listen to it yourself. Will it communicate well with your spouse? We just said it now. We agreed that we want a lasting and healthy relationship, a healthy marriage. If you can keep a marriage of friends for 30, 50 years, why can't you keep your marriage with your spouse for that long? Then communication is the first thing. What is that thing you want to communicate? The next one is, where do you want to communicate? Your spouse has done something you are not happy about. Do you want to communicate that to your spouse outside the public? Or in your home, where you both can listen and discuss? Why do you want to communicate it? It is about you, your own feeling. It's not about your partner. It is how you feel. You want to communicate because you have felt bad. That is your why. When? What time? Is it a time that your spouse, either the wife or the husband, is not really good to listen and you still want to communicate? And there is something that a lot of us, we do. We are thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about the next person. We're not thinking about your spouse. Is my spouse ready to listen? If I discuss this now, will I get a favorable answer? He just came back from the office. Or she just finished cooking. She served you your food. You know she has really worked hard to cook that food. But unfortunately, the food tastes bad. Is it the right time for you to tell her that your food tastes bad? Or are you going to hold on for her and give it to her in a better way? Or your husband that has gone out to work with the traffic that we all know. You don't know what you went through in the office. You just got back and something happened in the morning. You want to share with your husband. Are you going to give it to him immediately? Or you are going to wait till it cools down? That is patience and empathy. Patience and empathy is very key while communicating. Another thing that we have to look out while communicating is to avoid what we call stonewalling. Stonewalling, when you are discussing with your spouse and your partner just goes mute and refuses to communicate or talk to you. Will you force yourself to continue to speak? Or you have to hold on? Stonewalling, we used to think, was common among men because they don't like to talk. But unfortunately, we now find it with the women. But I'm sorry to tell you, if you encourage stonewalling, it's a time bomb ready to explode at any time. At that particular time, what you should do is leave that discussion because it's not going to end anywhere. It's not heading anywhere. You leave that discussion, but come back to it later, but never sweep it under the carpet. Because by the time it's going to explode, you all, the both of you, will not like the story, the end story. The other C is conflict resolution. Most times we feel that in marriage, the healthy marriages, all the long-lasting marriages, there are no conflicts. But it's not. Conflict is a common thing in every relationship, every marriage, every family. But how you resolve it is the most important. Conflict that comes in marriages makes you better, makes you understand yourselves better. Remember, you are two different personalities that came together as one. You are brought up differently. So definitely, there are some things that will come up in your marriage, and you have to look back. We don't do this in my house. Yes, you don't do it in your house, but this is your partner. What are you supposed to do? You are going to sit down together, talk about it. It's not about you. It's not about a winning game. Who wins? No. It's about you coming to a common ground, or how it's going to favor the both of you. Remember, your marriage is not for you alone, but of course, for your children and unborn generation. You are a role model and a mentor to them. Moving further, when it comes to conflict resolution, there are some other things. Some issue comes up where the couples cannot resolve within themselves. You need to seek for help. It's a fact. This is not a matter of don't talk to a third party and you're going to die in silence. You need to speak to the right person if you really want your marriage to live long and keep it healthy. It's not about you gossiping or backbiting about your spouse, but it's about seeking for help. I'm so happy that we have a lot of men here today. Most programs that I go for, unfortunately, I find a lot of women there than the men. So I give that to Lemu for dragging these men here. Most times, or let me say what we have seen, is that the women are always eager to go out to seek for help. But alhamdulillah, if we have more men listening to how their marriages can work, I think it will go a long way to help these women mentally. It doesn't mean that the women also going out to seek for help don't have their own. We all have our own too. Because there are ways that we go about how we want to do our things without understanding how the men also feel. The men are so patient. They are also emotional. They might not show it. They are also thinking. But when they tell you, please hold on, I'm thinking, please let them be. Let them think and give us a right decision. We are very rational when it comes to thinking. We want everything done immediately. But the men take their time to get the right decision for the family. And as I said earlier, they are our protectors. And we are supposed to be obedient to them. So part of being obedient to them is to understand how they feel and give them that time to give us or direct us the right way. Another thing about conflict is going out to meet people. Most times, when you go out to seek for solution, they just pick it at the top. What happened? No. It's not that. Even within the spouses, please don't look at the top alone. Don't cut the weed alone. Go to the roots. Cut off the roots of that weed. If you don't cut off the roots, the weed will surely grow again. If you don't cut off the roots, those problems will surely come back. And by the time it's coming back, it might come back tough. Most of the marriages that we see today that are broken, most times it is lack of not able to resolve their conflicts. And because the external factors that they have gone to did not dig into the problem, they only saw it at the top. And that was it. I'll be going to the L. That's the love and intimacy. Love and intimacy is another part that helps our marriages to work. And this is something that the Prophet ﷺ also encourages. You say you have married someone. Allah has said, yes, there's tranquility in it, there's peace in it. But how do you sustain that love? Is it by just sitting and talking? We shy away from a lot of things. And we want our marriages to work. And part of it is talking about our feelings, our love feelings, our intimacy. If we have couples here today, it's an assignment. Please go back home. Talk to yourselves. Ask yourselves, what do you both understand by the love and intimacy? It should not be a one-way thing. Marriage is a two-way traffic and not a one-way traffic. When it comes to intimacy, you have to be close to your spouse. Ask yourselves, how do you feel about me? You talk about love. Is it the love from the tip of your tongue? Or the one from the bottom of your heart? No one will judge that for you, but you know yourself. And sincerely, if the love is not there, the intimacy is lacking, then your marriage might not go further. Imam just spoke about fornication here. Professor Abikarim also said the same thing. Fornication, adultery, these are things that are alarming. I've heard a lot of sisters. Of course, we know that brothers are allowed to marry more than one wife. But can you imagine a sister in hijab going out to fornicate because she's not satisfied by her husband? And she has done it to an extent that she feels like committing suicide. Because she feels that that's the end of the road. And we kept asking, why are you not speaking to your husband about it? I've tried speaking with him, but he's not listening. If you don't listen to your partner, you are pushing your partner out. It's a grievous sin inside of Almighty Allah, yes. But you that led her to it is not free also. That's why you need to sit down and talk about it. So by the time your kids are even gone, and you know that, okay, you don't have the strength for intimacy again, but there's still something that is keeping your love growing. The intimacy might not be there, but the love is still there. The attachment is still there. I'll be going to the personal growth. And this personal growth is something I tell a lot of couples, intending couples. Wherever you want to get married to, please share your goals. Your own personal goals. Share it with your spouse, your intending spouse, your intending husband and wife. Let them know. Let he or she know that you have your own personal goals to achieve in life also. If you go into that marriage without discussing it, you will be in the marriage but you will not be fulfilled. Discuss it before you go into it. How can you achieve your personal goals? Is it something that is going to affect your home, affect your kids? What's the way out? Is there an alternative? We have a lot of people that went to school to study. They studied law, they studied mass communication, a lot of things, a lot of fields. But they find themselves after marriage not practicing these things. There was a reason why they went into that course. But somehow, marriage has taken it away from them. Same thing goes to the man. What are your own personal goals? Discuss with your spouse. How do we achieve this? How do you help me to achieve it? We are partners. So that we will not be in the marriage. To get to a stage that you say, you told me to sit down at home, I'm just at home now. What else do you want me to do? You hear a lot of women saying that. They might not tell you the reason. But there's something in them that is not fulfilling. That is making them react that way. That thing is what you, the man, the husband, you're already in it, should find out. Why are you wailing? Why are you nagging? We also find some men, some husbands, that along the line, maybe they studied engineering or something happened, they were not able to practice their profession. It's the right of the wife to also ask, if you can't practice your profession, the one you studied in school, what else can you do that will make you happy? As the man also said earlier on, our spiritual growth is also very important. I remember I was asked a question some time ago about the economy, about finance in the home and education. That is it possible for a man to marry a woman that is far ahead of him when it comes to education? And I answered, yes, it's possible. But the man should think deeply. Are you going to be ready? Are you not going to feel inferior at a particular time that ìyàwó mi ṣe wá ga jù mí lọ báyìí? You know your wife is a BSc holder or a PhD holder, but you, an ND holder or an SSC holder, you have seen her like that. Are you ready to take her as your wife? And you won't feel inferior at the end of the day. Allah has blessed us differently, just like the Prophet ﷺ and Khadijah. Are we ready to help our wife to maintain that success that Allah has given to her? And we, the wives, are we ready to succumb, to be loyal, no matter the status, the wealth that Allah has given to us? Are we ready to succumb, to be loyal to our husbands? Making our marriage work long, healthy, takes a lot of commitment and work and open-mindedness amongst partners. We see people celebrating it. We also want to celebrate it. But the major thing there is what Islam has said. This program, one of the themes of this program is that we should find a way to reduce the divorce rate in society. And that's why it's up here. Now it is left for all of us here to help others outside, because we have heard it. We are a bit knowledgeable. We have more knowledge than those that are not here now. It is left for us to help them out there on ways they can go about it. It is pathetic when you see 6 months, 1 year, 3 months marriages going down the drain. Remember, we are the role models. We are the mentors of our children and unborn generation. Society is there, yes, that want to dictate to us. But remember that you have a reason why you went into that marriage. You didn't go into that marriage for it to break in the middle. You want it to, you both of you want to meet yourself in Jannah. That is one of the reasons why you got married in the first instance. Why is it that in the middle of the road, you decided to split? I'll be leaving you with this. Never let society determine your marriage, but let your own marriage determine society that you find yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We thank Dr. Rashida Okeolaniyan for that brilliant presentation. May Allah reward you abundantly.